Yo guys, what's up? We're at this spring. And I want to show you guys something because we came here a couple days ago to fill up a water bottle on our way to Kamloops, and I came in to stop to fill up all the water bottles. But it's funny because I pulled up and look what's on this rock. That is Lincoln's crane. Lincoln's crane and his little pallet just chilling there, and I was like, no freaking way, Lincoln. We totally left it there. And it's so cool how it is still there. That is what I love about this, because anyone who's coming to take water isn't going to take that stuff. And even if they took it, it doesn't even matter, but it's there. So that's dope. So we're going to fill up some water bottles and get that situated. Because look at those girls. Those things are all going to be full. I'm so excited to spring water once again, because this last go, we had to go and buy water. And I'd rather buy water than drink tap water, but like getting it right from the earth is by far like my most favorite, the all-time favorite thing to do. So let's hit it. One bottle down. You think I'd have a better system by now, but I'm figuring it out. I want to mention that everything we put into our bodies, food, water, makeup, chemicals, deodorant, everything that we put on our bodies or in our bodies is absorbed by our bodies and affects us in some way, shape, or form. That is why I choose to drink spring water. That's why I don't choose to drink tap water. Just because there are those little trace chemicals, trace microchemicals in the water that we drink. And that's like, ooh, you're a shippy dippy dippity doo dah shit, Ethan, stop talking. It's the truth. It's a truth. And I choose to consciously choose the water that I drink out of love. And I love drinking this water. It feels so goddamn good getting this water from the earth. That's why I choose to drink, because every time I take a sip, I'm reminded that this water came from the earth, which is such a beautiful thing for me. It just inspires me to be better. Like, as weird as that sounds, drinking this water inspires me to be a better damn human being. And these days, I'll do whatever it takes to be a better human being. Second thing that I want to mention is I was at Subway. I picked up Subway because I didn't have anything to eat, didn't prep, gave all my snacks to Lincoln Cass. And there was a father who was yelling at his little boy right in the parking lot and threatening him, like, do you want to go in? Do you want to sit down? Or do you want to go in the truck? And his little boy chose the truck, and his dad didn't put him in the truck. I thought that was just funny, because that's a lack of integrity. If you say you're gonna do something, make sure you do it, especially with your kids, because it shows integrity. If we say something and do the opposite, we're teaching our kids that that's okay to do that, and that's not something we want to teach our kids. The second thing is that I wanted to share with that is never, like, treat our children, we need to treat our children as though they're sovereign human beings and the most beautiful prized possessions. Like, would you treat your mother that way, or your great-great-grandma that way, that was possibly dying on her deathbed? Would you be yelling at her, calling her a piece of crap, or telling her to get her crap together? You wouldn't. You wouldn't treat someone you really love that way. But yet we get okay and we get normalized with treating our children that way, and that's just not cool. It's not cool. Like, yes, I've done it before. I've yelled at Lincoln. I have. And I do my best to make sure that I don't do that. I haven't done it in quite some time. Like, I haven't done it in a long time. Yes, I'm working on other things. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But the goal is to just do better each and every single day. Because that's all that we can do. But it was so disheartening, because that's how shame gets passed on. It's like our parents treated us that way, so we think it's okay. We don't even think, we just do. We just treat our children that way because that's all that we've ever known. All that we've ever known is what our parents gave us, because that is our experience of that. We don't know anything else. It's something I had to deal with and look at, was like, how was I raised? How was I raised? How was my childhood? Because by looking at that, I get to see the ways in which I am my parents to my son. I got like 16 mosquito bites from doing this. Ugh. That's the end of the video, and I really felt called to, while I was editing, which I'm doing right now, is share the importance of treating our children with respect. Like, that is one of the fundamental pillars, the tenets, the core principle or philosophy in which I parent by is like respect. Respect for Lincoln, respect that he is his own human being, and respect that he's his own sovereign individual. He's not in my possession. He's not mine. He's him. He's his own being. I don't own him. He is part of this experience in which I got chosen to live and experience, but he is not mine. And so treating him with respect as though he was my grandmother, treating him with respect as though he's an elder, treating him with like the utmost respect. Like, who in your life do you respect the most, or who in your life do you look up to the most? Do you treat your child like you treat that person? If the answer is no, then you get to look at the ways in which, why not? Why don't you treat your child that way? Because that's what your child deserves from you. That's what your child needs from you. Your child needs to know that he's respected, because if he knows that he's respected, if he knows that he's heard, seen, loved, and cared for, then I think honestly, those 4 main principles, he will grow up to be a beautiful human being regardless of what happens, as long as he has those 4 things. Looking back in my childhood, I didn't really have those, and I went through a lot of hell, and I went through a lot of ways to get those, when I could have just been met by my parents if they were there, but that's not the case. So, treating our children with respect. If you're a parent watching this, you might be like, oh yeah, I treat my child with respect. You know, I say the same. But there's times that we don't. And those are the times in which we get to look at, in which we get to improve. Because like for me, this last 2 weeks with Lincoln has actually not been the greatest. I ended up coming down with like a sickness, and I ended up kind of like becoming more irritable, more kind of like shaming quicker. I was just like really quick to like judge and condescend and like just use power, just try to get him to do things, coerce him to do something that I wanted him to do, and not really respecting him very much. And it was like, that was my parenting for the last 2 weeks. And I get to look at that. I get to be like, holy shit, like Ethan, like how you showed up there was not actually okay. Like, it's okay that it's done. That's awesome. That's wonderful. There's no point in blaming or shaming myself for how I acted. But I get to look at the ways in which I was acting and how I can improve that next time, or how I can improve that going forward. And that's the power. Like, the power is that. The power is in awareness. Because the truth is, we are all great parents. And the truth is, we're all doing things still wrong. And what we get to do, what it's our journey, our mission, our work, is to look at the ways in which we're still not treating our child with respect. And we must have the willingness to admit that to ourselves. Like, hey, like when I get angry, that's probably not the best thing to do. Or when I'm trying to get Lincoln to do something and I use power or force, or use my voice to raise my voice to get him to do it, because that's what I know, like that's how I know a tool that works is raise my voice and look angry. Maybe that's not the best thing, because I'm just using power and coercion there. So I get to look at that. Okay, how can I change that? How can I, in that moment, take a deep breath, let go, and use a different tool. Say something different, or try something different, or maybe just let it go completely. And that's, for me, my job, my responsibility is like looking at that as the work of like, hey, that's where I get to improve. So you get to look into your life as a parent and look like, okay, where do I get to improve? Because we're not all perfect. That's just the truth with parenting, is that it's a journey. Like, if we think that we're the perfect parents already, that's not it. Like, it is true and it's not true. It is true because we are the perfect parent, and it's not true because there's always room for growth. And that's what I'm committed to looking at, is because like even with my best months with Lincoln, like last month was my best month with Lincoln, I even had visions of how it could get even better. And that's what I'm committed to, is because life can always get better and better and better and better and better. But it begins with taking responsibility, looking at with how our parenting isn't effective now and how we're not treating our child with the utmost respect, and beginning to change those things. And usually if we're not treating our child with respect, the first place that I would recommend someone look at is, are you treating yourself with respect? And for me, over the past 2 weeks, I was not. I was like binge watching shows. I was eating terrible food. I was back on pornography for 2 weeks. Like, it was just rough. It was a rough go.
And I share that with you guys just to be radically open and honest. Like, that's what I was using. That's where I went back to, like, those old habits that weren't serving me and aren't the greatest for me. I was going back to those things, and so I wasn't treating myself with the most respect. Now I'm treating myself more with respect, and I can see that already in how I act with Lincoln, because the last 2 weeks, like I said, were a little bit chaotic and weren't the best for parenting, and now it's just beginning to get better and better and better because I'm treating myself with more respect. So looking at and taking care of yourself and asking yourself, am I treating myself with respect? And where do I need to treat myself with more respect? Do I need to treat my body with more respect? Do I need to treat my mind with more respect? Do I need to treat how I think and the thoughts that I think with more respect? And just look at that. So that's all I want to share. I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. And I also want you guys to comment down below. What are you grateful for? Today I'm grateful for the beautiful swim that I got to take in the Wapiti River today, which was just so beautiful and so relaxing and so just inspiring and just grounding. And I just love that experience. So drop what you're grateful down for in the comments down below. And also, remember to like, remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because that's just what you do. And if you're returning, thank you. You're awesome. You rock. And I appreciate you so much. And for those new subscribers, for those of you who aren't subscribed, that's what you get. You get like this little pump your tires, like you're awesome. So make sure you do that. And until next time, guys, peace and much love.